Welcome to Dynamite Delight. This is now my 9th shot. This is the 9th time I've done this. Because there's several things I want to say along with what's going on in this show. Before I get started, I really need to say this because I tried this early and I made it too long. Look, guys, for your favorite YouTubers, if you don't know this yet, whether you like them or not, Just Alex, JD, Solomonster, The Slug Daddy, Wrestling Inc. Podcast. I think even Grimm still does videos. And a couple of others. If you don't know, this is your time to know. It doesn't affect me because I don't get paid from YouTube. I have no money. I have no merch. I have no sponsors. But for those who are still working with the sponsored ads on their videos, if you curse, and this is a new law that came through YouTube's policy, their new policy. I'm a little tired. Ugh. But if you curse within the first 8 seconds, you are completely demonetized from your video. If you have cursing in any of your other videos, it is retroactive across them all. And this is supposed to be across every genre of YouTube, not just wrestling, everyone. So it's going to hit everyone, including wrestling reviewers and podcasters. You can't curse anymore. You can't have any type of derogatory talk. You can't, gamers are going to pay for this as well. But since this is about wrestling YouTubers and you know Just Alex curses, JD curses, The Slug Daddy curses, they're going to feel it if they're getting any advertisement on their videos. If they got merch, it shouldn't affect them. If they got Patreon, it shouldn't affect them. If they got PayPal, it shouldn't affect them. I know Just Alex has PayPal, as well as sponsorships like from any type of brands. I believe they should not be affected. It's just any normal advertisement that they would normally get on their videos is now going to stop if there's any derogatory talk, any explicit images or videos, or any type of derogatory talk as well. Even video games. That people who play video games are getting the same thing. So gaming channels are going to get hit bad from this. But I thought I'd say this, even though it's taking me almost 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Okay, let's get into this. Was this a good show? It was a new look, but the same troubles. You can see from my video, that's what I'm calling it. You get a nice new intro for Dynamite, and probably you get a different one from Rampage. The graphics for Dynamite looks good for also AEW. The commentator table now has 3 separate LED TVs set in portrait mode, so you will see what show they are on, and that will be Dynamite or Rampage, showing AEW, what show that you're watching, and what network. I'm sure they're going to show TBS or TNT. So when Rampage shows itself, it's going to be for TNT, and when Dynamite, it's going to be TBS. Did the ring look different? No, not that much, but it's going to be something different for the ring skirts. That's just it. So basically, they've changed some graphics, some lighting. Also, they put partitions in front of the ramps where the tunnels are, so you can't see the people coming out. It's different. Is it a good difference? We'll know after a couple of months if it lasts, if it really means something. And if they're going to do something even more different for Rampage. I think they'll just keep reusing them, and they'll change the colors for each one so they don't have to spend too much. But that's just me. Now, opening. We got Ricky Starks versus the Ocho. I know I'm mispronouncing 8. I can't speak Spanish very well. Was this a good match? Yes, it was. Ricky was over like stink. Yes, he was. And I can tell you right now, I'm glad to see it because I knew he would get there. Did Ricky win? Yes, he did. Even with help from the JAS, he still lost, and that's Chris. That makes another loss for him. But then, not only did Ricky get destroyed, also Action Andretti gets destroyed because once the match was over, the JAS tries to destroy Ricky Starks, and pretty much Andretti comes out with a chair, he gets nailed, and Ricky goes through table for his trouble. It's alright. It's good to see that they're helping Ricky Starks get somewhere. But I don't know about Andretti. Now, mind you, he still has the mark over his eyes showing that he got burnt, which is good. That's what they need to do. Any other places will just put some type of covering on his face. In this case, they made it apparent that he got burnt, which I'm glad to see. But will this mean anything for Andretti? Will this help AEW in the long run? I don't know. I know a lot of people are not fond that Andretti is in the spot. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I just know they are giving a new talent a good push. In the end, will it help? It's going to depend on how this talent, Action Andretti, is going to take this and ride with it. Will it go up? Will it go down? Is his mic skills good? Is his charisma good? Is his ring work good? Does he have the look? And can he be a ring general? That is the 5 tools, and we're going to find out if he can do it, unless they're going to just drop him after a while. We'll find out if he's going to end up on Dark or Dark Elevation in about 2 or 3 months. You will see. Now, the next match was a tag match between the Acclaimed and Jay Lethal with Double J Jeff Jarrett. Jell. I can't remember the rest. I'm dyslexic. I can't remember how to spell. You actually think I can spell great? I'm dyslexic. I can barely spell. And this is barely anything different than Impact Wrestling. Guys, the reason I just did that little jokey bit, and yes, I am dyslexic and sometimes I don't spell that well, but this was a Double J Jeff Jarrett booking. If you don't think it wasn't Double J, watch what we got. You got to watch it yourself. Did we get a good match? Yeah, it was fine. But what did we get? The Acclaimed losing, and Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal wins. But then a whole bunch of refs come out and say, there was a cheat. No. Sanjay Dutt pulled his leg off because it was Caster who had his leg on the ring rope after he was getting pinned, and then it was Sanjay Dutt who pushed it off. And what did we get? Audrey Edwards and maybe another ref coming out and saying, no, to the ref in the ring, not happening, continue the match. Not restart the match. That was the little difference compared to a Impact Wrestling, which they would have just restarted the match. Or WWE for that matter. In this case, they continued the match. That will differentiate them from Impact Wrestling and WWE, at least from Vince, and AEW. They'll continue it, not restart it. Really? And in the end, the Acclaimed still wins. And now they're going to have a match again. I don't remember what the match is going to be, and is it going to be at the pay-per-view or next week? I can't remember. But now they're getting another match. And again, Caster did great work with that rap. Remember, guys, Double J agreed to this. He would not be doing these raps unless Jeff Jarrett allowed it. So don't worry. This is requested. It had to be requested, Double J, and Double J had to say, okay, you can do it. There you go. But this was a TNA, not Impact Wrestling, total non-stop Acclaimed booking. That's what this is. Now, next thing we're going to talk about will be the Page interview. And that's Hangman Page. Let's put it in perspective. Is this a good story between Hangman Page and Moxley? Yes, no problem. Is it good to see they're trying to hold off until their pay-per-view? Yes. Well, at least I believe it's a pay-per-view when they're going to fight. Did it mean something when we found out that Page can't do anything for that week? If he does, they'll extend it again another week. So he can't touch Moxley, he can't have a fight or nothing. Moxley comes out. But Moxley wants to get this done as well, so he's trying not to hurt him. So both of them want to attack each other, and they're not doing it. Does it look like it's overacting a little bit? Just slightly, yes. But did they talk well? Yeah. And the one thing that really was interesting about Hangman Page, because it was not about Hangman Page being mad at Moxley for giving him concussion. He made that clear in that talk. It was that you wouldn't let me talk when I got in the ring. I don't hate you, as he said to Mox. I don't hate you for giving me a concussion. But I hated that you basically wouldn't let me talk. and say whatever I wanted to say. That's why I hate you, and because of it, now I'm really angry about you giving me the knock to my head and made me go a little loop and forget my son's name, or even I had a son. I want to whip your ass. That's big. Well, actually, he said, I'm going to stomp your dick into the ground. Guys, they were doing a lot of cursing in this show. Fuck was used more than a few times by Jon Moxley because the mic there wasn't working right and the crowd saying, we can't hear you. He gets another mic and he goes, hey, what? Fuck. Damn, fuck. They're doing this more often. And understand, the FCC does not allow profanity usually. That's like a $10,000 or $20,000 fine. Next to bleeding, I believe is at least $5,000 or $10,000 fine each time there's a curse. And there's been, more than a few curses in AEW. So Tony is flipping the bill for this. That's just me. But it's not bad. I'm not having a problem with it because they're not PG-14. They're not PG. They are whatever they are. They're more serious. Now, is it balanced? No. And sooner or later, they're going to have to balance that out. They can't curse every single time. They can't have blood every single time. Because one, that costs money, between $10,000 to $20,000 for each time they do it, or each infraction of cursing. So if it's like 3 or 4 curses, that's 10, 20, 30, maybe 40,000 or 50, counting how many curses are done. That's just how I see it. Now, let's get to what happened to Saraya with Storm and Shida. When you saw Britt Baker with a Jamie Hayter, she implied a little bit of the boss, Sasha. Of course she did. She's going to do it because of the match next week, I believe. And once we saw Shida with Saraya and Storm, you're thinking she's not going to pick either one of them. But she does. She picks Storm. And then Shida gets upset because she is, basically she was told that she wasn't one of the best wrestlers. She agreed that Tony is the greatest wrestler that's there, but she doesn't say that Shida's a great wrestler as well. She said she had a great match, but she didn't say she was a great wrestler. So Shida gets pissed off. They just did a bait and switch for everyone. That's what we just got. Because Mercedes is still dealing with Wrestle Kingdom. Well, basically, they already just had Wrestle Kingdom. I haven't seen it yet. It just finished earlier today, I believe. Or yesterday. So I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen her on Wrestle Kingdom yet. But she's probably still in Japan. She has not left yet. So, unless they're going to do a bait and switch, and it's not Tony, and it's going to be Mercedes, do I care? No. Because this is what AEW does. Look what happened with Christian Cage. When it came to Christian, they tried to make him more than what it was. Now they did the same thing, but with Toni Storm. And look, I still love me Toni. Toni is a great wrestler. She talks well. She's beautiful. She's intelligent. But she's not Mercedes Vanel. Is her last name Vanel? I can't remember. But she's not Mercedes. She's not the former Sasha Banks. People want to see the boss. And by Britt doing that, teasing it, unless she is coming in and she'll be on Britt Baker's side, we are not going to be happy about seeing this little interaction between Shida, Saraya, and Storm, because now Shida feels disrespected. And I understand they're trying to make a story with that, but it's kind of weak. Honestly, it's weak. Because you've never seen Shida just get pissed off. And Shida should be the bad guy in this. It shouldn't be about Saraya choosing Storm over just because she thinks she's the better wrestler. You got a Brit and an Aussie. That's what you got. You got a Japanese wrestler. She's going to say the Aussie. Because who's the bad guy there? Is it going to be Saraya or is it going to be Shida? It's got to be Shida unless you're going to make Saraya a heel already. I'm just saying. Next, the match I think was the second best match of the night. and that is Strickland versus AR Fox. Now, they both came from the same promotion. Strickland's been working 13 years. AR has been working 15. They've dealt with each other for many, many years, and you could see it in how they work together. They both worked the same promotion in the same hometown of Seattle. That is for a Bryan Danielson. That is for a Darby Allin, I believe, as well. So they know how to work together. Was it good chemistry? Yes. They're both good high flyers. Who is the better high flyer? I've only seen Strickland. I've seen Strickland a lot, so I can talk on him, but when it comes to AR, I haven't seen enough of him. But they seem to be very comparable. But here's the thing. They're both the same high flyer. They've both been trained the same way. One is a little more athletic than the other. And one is a little more stronger than the other. Slightly. One a little more athletic, one a little more stronger. Stronger is here, going down. Athletic, flipping a little bit more, is up here. That's what you got. They're like just barely different. They're basically both comparable. So basically you're looking at the same guy almost. I'm being honest here. I know just Alex is going to say that was great spots. How they flipped outside. One was flipping out. The other one flipped right behind them. And they had that face-to-face, which I'm not saying is bad. I'm not going to tell you any of the high-flying work they did was bad. But this is what happens when you have two guys that are so comparable, where maybe one is just slightly more stronger and one slightly more flippy. They're basically the same wrestler, mirroring one another. And many people say that's great. But sometimes you need a variety to really differentiate the other. The only difference is one has been in the business, 2 years longer than the other. And that's not the differentiation. Now, the mobile affiliates did help out. And in the end, you did see Strickland win. I wasn't surprised. There was no way AR Fox was going to win. No. But what I wished could have happened was an actual freaking story between the two, and they could have built it up instead of just giving us a damn match. Look, I don't hate matches. I love matches. It can be high flying, and I could still like it even if I'm not a big fan of it. It can be ground and pound, even if I wasn't a fan of it, in which I am, like of technical wrestling, high flying, and ground and pound. I like a little bit of all, so give us variety. It doesn't mean I would hate it. But when you got two guys who literally came from the same promotion, they even said it on commentary, which was kind of messed up at certain times when they went to picture-in-picture. I may get to that in a minute. It feels empty. And that's the problem with AEW in many cases. We get matches with no relevance. As I always say, when I did my Booking the Wrestler, when I talk about wrestling must be relevant, you don't need to be the top dog of the promotion to be relevant. It's your booking that makes you relevant, not your position with a title. You can be without a title and be the most relevant person in the entire brand. That can happen and has happened. So it feels like they both had nothing. No matter, even though Strickland did sell pretty well, and I've always had an issue with him not seeming like he wants to either sell enough or he can sell enough. In this one, he sold fine. But where's the story? You got both of them knowing one another, and you didn't even bother to try and build up a story. You just gave us a match. It's bullshit. Moving on. We got Bryan Danielson versus Tony Nese. Extremely short match. Tony Nese got his ass handed to him and then some. Very quickly, very easily by the hometown, one of the hometown boys. Because we got more than a few. We got Strickland, who's a hometown boy. You got Bryan Danielson. You got, AR Fox was also, they worked there also. You also got, not Samoa. I don't think Samoa Joe's a hometown boy there. But if he was, that also goes with Darby Allin. That's like 5 hometown boys there. But you get my point. In the end, what did we get between MJF and Bryan Danielson? We got the setup for the pay-per-view. Now, this is what MJF said. He said, you think you're so great, but you're not. But you know what? I went and talked to Tony, and I found out from him, if you keep winning up until February 8th, you'll be number 1 contender. So this is what I'm going to do for you. You make it all the way to February 8th, When we get Revolution, I will give you a shot. And Bryan Danielson said, no, I'm not buying that. I'm just going to keep going until I win. And pretty much MJF made it clear, this is not about you. This is not about Tony in the back. It's not about the vice presidents. And he does mention the Bucks and Kenny. This is about me being the leader. This is about me being the one that makes this relevant. So, Bryan Danielson made it very clear, okay, let's make it like this. I'll play your game, but I want to pick a stipulation. It says, really, yeah, you're going to try and make sure I don't get anything, huh? You're going to try and screw me out of this, huh? And that was, MJF said, no. What I'm going to do is expose you. Because what I want is a 1 hour Iron Man match. And that is what we got. This is meant to help MJF. This match is meant to really solidify him as a wrestler as much as an entertainer. Because, Triple H, he's going like, oh, he's probably going to have someone watch, or he's going to watch himself. And he's going to hear how this is set up for when they do Revolution. He's going to get a good idea of what MJF really is. And when he sees it, he's going to say, yeah, Maxwell. Maxie, I can see you. I see you. This is going to help him in 2024. Because they're going to find out what they really got they're going to try and give a bid for. And this is also going to help a little bit of Tony to see that when the contract is nearing up, will he raise the money he already gave him, or he's going to say, I'm done. Cut you loose. I know that doesn't mean it's going to be incredibly great, but you get my point. This is coming for that. Now, the match that made no sense. Sky Blue and Kiera Hogan versus Jade and Red Velvet. What the hell is that? Red Velvet walked away last week. Well, not last week, but the last match they were in. She walked away. Wouldn't it have been better for her to work with Kiera Hogan? Or not even be in the match at all? No. She has the same match again. But I'm like, are we really going there? Are we really going to have Jade Cargill face off against Red Velvet for the TBS title? Because that's what it's coming down to. And my question is this. Is Tony going to pull the fucking trigger on this? Is he going to do it? Because this is what this is not about Kiera. This is not about Red Velvet. This is not about Gray. This is about finally getting that damn title off of Jade Cargill. I've said this for quite a while. You guys have heard me. Unlike everyone else, I'm one of the few who said for months upon months, when she was in the 30s, actually in the, 29 or 30 or 31, I started saying easily, she needs to drop that damn title. She's done. She's done all she can. She tried to elevate a title that had no relevancy yet. And the title can't give her any relevancy because it's brand new. So she has gone here. That's as far as she's gone with it. She's worked her ass off to try and get it from being where my hand's out of the frame up to here. This is as far as she's pushed it. She's worked her ass off, and I will take nothing from her. Is she still green? Yeah, she's only been in the business a couple of years. She has a lot of growth she's got to do. But I cannot take away anything that she's done. She's taken a new title that has no relevancy and tried to raise it up as high as she can. The title should have been around a veteran. And then she should have got it from a veteran. But Tony gave it to her because he thought that it would be better on her because she was not ready for the current title. Britt is the only one that was dealing with it, and he didn't want her the job yet. So now she's done everything she can with that title. It's got to be dropped. If you don't drop it, when Red Velvet is going to finally have a match with her, this was a complete waste of time. They should have never done the baddies. You should have never brought Kiera Hogan in. You should have never brought Red Velvet in. You should have never brought in Gray. I can't remember. I always keep forgetting her name. Laura Gray, I believe that's her name. You should have brought those women in and should have left Jade by herself because not one of those women are over. Not one has gained anything. Not even Sky Blue has gained anything. Not has even Athena or Ruby Soho or Statlander for that matter. No one who dealt with her with that damn title has gained anything. Not even Sheeta. And Sheeta's supposed to be big business in there. No one's gained anything dealing with Jade Cargill with that damn title. Had no relevancy. I'm just saying. Let me see here. What's next? Commentary. Guys, I don't know what's going on with commentary. I wish JR was there, but as far as I understand, JR can't do a lot of traveling. He just can't do it. So that's the reason why Taz is there more often. And I think on Rampage we did get who was it? It wasn't Mark Henry. I think it was Paul White. So we don't have a JR there. He's going to only probably do them very rarely because he probably can't travel that much now. But what is going on with Taz and Tony Schiavone? At one point, I was watching when I wasn't watching on TNT. I was watching on a stream that I was able to get through Fight and everything else. You know where you can get them. And when you see when they're talking, what is going on with Taz and Tony Schiavone? There is something going wrong here. What the hell is going on? They need to keep those guys separate. You need to get Taz away from Tony because I don't know what the hell is happening. When they go to picture-in-picture, Tony and Taz has some type of issue. There's always something going on with Taz dealing with Tony. Unless they're going to make it into a damn story, it's like there's just an issue or something where Taz is not listening to Tony, or he's basically messing with Tony, or he's not paying attention. What is going on? Okay, last match. That is Samoa Joe versus Darby Allin. Guys, did you honestly believe that Samoa Joe was going to win here? I wanted him to win, but do you actually believe he's going to win? We're in the town of Darby Allin. There is no way they wouldn't do it. And they did it. They did exactly what I thought they were going to do. They made Darby their TNT champ again. Now, is he popular? Yes. No one takes nothing away from Darby. But what was all of this with Samoa Joe? Why did they wait so long to just give it to him? And then basically let him have only about a month or two with it, and then you drop it to Darby back. Does Darby gain anything from the time that he's been away from it? No. Doesn't mean he hasn't done good work throughout the entire year that led him to here. But what are we doing? I would have liked to see Wardlow go after the ROH television title, then go after the TNT title. Hell, let Darby go after the television title, but they won't because Darby is AEW and Joe is ROH. This is where new coat of paint, but still the same old thing. Where is the story for Darby? Yeah, he's had a certain rise, but does this mean it couldn't be left for the pay-per-view? You couldn't have set something up for the pay-per-view for the TNT title? No. You just throw it on Darby Allin, and now who is his next challenger? Is it going to be Samoa Joe again? Is it going to be Wardlow? Probably. But will this help Wardlow? I don't think so. Will this help Joe? It actually diminished Joe for him dropping the title. I don't know about anybody else, but I think Joe should have kept the title as the king of television. He was more interesting. Not that I don't think Darby isn't good. Darby isn't mean something. And yes, once the match was over and Darby got the title, and the fight in the very beginning was very good. Seeing Darby jump off the ladder onto Joe and hit him on the shoulder with his knee, that wasn't a joke, that had to hurt. And the story for him in the match was good. And at the end, you see Sting come out, walk over, and give Darby a big hug, and he's proud of him. But does this help Darby going forward? I don't know. Does this help Samoa Joe to drop that title now? Now he's not the king of TV. I don't know. What about Wardlow? What does this mean? Wardlow's going to go after the TNT title through Darby Allin? Are you going to job out Wardlow now? I don't know. New coat of paint, but the same old troubles. They're just no well-built things here. It's very confusing. It's going up, down, up, down, up. And I don't even know it's gone up or down. This is still the first show, so I don't know if they're going to start rising up or not. Maybe they will. And I hope you enjoyed this Dynamite Delight. Give me a comment below. Peace.